with a spin, 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 with a spin.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Prime, Mr. Von Settle.
With us.
We back. We live. We active. Yes, we are. Yeah. Jumpers getting shot. That means we talking NBA hoops. Playoffs is still going. Let's talk two games real quick. We're going to talk about the game one of the Western Conference Finals between the Warriors and the Spurs, and we're going to talk about game 7 of the Eastern semis between Boston and Washington. Let's start with Warriors and Spurs. Game 1 took place on Sunday. It was a good one. Spurs came out and took it to Golden State. I mean, punched them in the mouth like boom, and just kept swinging on them like yeah. Was dropping bombs on them. Went up by 25. Kawhi Leonard was balling on them. Golden State had no answer. And then Kawhi Leonard hurts his ankle twice. One time he steps on his teammate on the bench, steps on his foot coming down from a jumper and twisted it. And then the next time, the one that got him out of the game, Zaza Pachulia undercut him, came down on Zaza's foot when he was shooting a jumper. A lot of people calling it a dirty play, and it might be. I tend to agree. And Kawhi leaves the game. Warriors go on an 18-0 run, cut the lead. San Antonio fought, but once Kawhi left the game, it was only a matter of time, man. And Spurs ended up losing game 1. A lot of controversy. Coach Pop was hot. He was pissed. I mean, he went on a epic Popovich rant like he does. And he's right. Even just because there was no ill intent doesn't mean it wasn't a dirty play, and doesn't mean he shouldn't be punished for it. So yeah, and it looks like Kawhi's going to miss game 2 because of the ankle injury. So it's all bad for the Spurs, and it's all good for the Warriors. Curry went for, I think, 40. I think Curry went for 40. I don't remember exactly. High 30s or 40s. Durant went for over 30. It's going to be tough to beat those guys if those guys are putting up those numbers. So, yeah. And that Kawhi injury was just devastating. It's going to be interesting. LaMarcus Aldridge did step up and played well, but it just wasn't enough, man. It just wasn't enough. So we got game 2 tomorrow, or today, depending on when you watch this, or it might already happen depending on when you watch this video. I don't know. But game 2 is coming up, and we'll see what happens with that. Now, let's talk about game 7, Eastern Conference semifinals, Boston, Washington. Oh, it was a good one. This series was the best series of the playoffs so far, just like I said it was. Go watch the videos. I said it, that this was going to be the best series, and it was. Let me start this by saying, first of all, Boston won, and they move on to play Cleveland. We'll talk about that at the end of this video. But I want to give a shout out to Bradley Beal, whose stock went through the roof, not only through these playoffs, but especially in this game. In the big game moment, he was a big game player. He dropped, I think, 37, 38 on him. I mean, he was unguardable. He was unguardable. Neither Isaiah Thomas nor Avery Bradley had an answer for Bradley Beal. He did whatever he wanted on that court. Now let's talk about his running mate. His running mate, John Wall, started the game out good, had a good first half. But fourth quarter, where was John Wall? He was nowhere to be found. I think he missed his last 11 shots. He couldn't hit anything. But on the Boston side, obviously you're going to have Isaiah Thomas, who did his thing. Played very well. I mean, the boy's a gamer. He's a star. He's a gamer. But the surprise for Boston was Kelly Olynyk. Off the bench, lit them up for 26 points. How do you let a role player like Olynyk come in and kill you? He was the difference in this game. Kelly Olynyk was the difference in this game. Without Olynyk, Boston doesn't win this game. Crowder hit some big shots. Marcus Smart hit some big shots, but Olynyk was the key. And so shouts out to the Celtics, man. You know I'm not a big fan of you guys, but hey, I'm not going to knock it. Who would have thought at the beginning? If I'd have told you at the beginning of the season that two Tacoma boys in Isaiah Thomas and Avery Bradley would be challenging to dethrone LeBron and the best basketball player in the world and LeBron James and the world champions, you would have been like, "Fuck you talking about?" But it's happening. So shouts out to the Tacoma boys that are now playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. And yeah, it was a good game. And a shouts out to the Wizards for a great series and a great season for them. Disappointed to see John Wall not come up big in the fourth. His stock is going to take a hit for this. But hey, there's always next year. And they got a good team out there. I'd like to see them get another front court player. But yeah, I like them. I like Washington. They got Matt. They need a little more depth off that bench too. They need a little more depth off that bench, but they're a good team, and I can see them sticking around for a minute because Bradley Beal and John Wall are a force in that backcourt. They are a force. So yeah, so we look to the Eastern Conference Finals now. Boston Celtics versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, 1 seed versus the 2 seed, just like out west. 1 seed versus the 2 seed. If I'm making early predictions, Cleveland in 6. Boston will be lucky to win 2 games. I'll give them 2 games. So Cleveland in 6, and we'll see how that comes out. Isaiah's gonna have his work cut out for him, guarding another big guard in Kyrie Irving. He's gonna have his hands full. They have absolutely nobody who can guard LeBron. He's gonna do what he wants, and they got a lot of guys that they can throw at him. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough. But we shall see. We shall see what comes of this, and I'm looking forward to an exciting Eastern Conference Finals. I'm looking forward to it. So, all right. That's my quick preview of the Eastern Conference Finals and a wrap-up of the semis and a look at Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. As always, make sure you keep it locked right here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, you know how we do.
Yeah.
Peace. 100, y'all.
Mr. Fine. Sweatbox. Let's go. We celebrating on this one, baby.
This is our celebration.
Motivate a whole team like I'm coach.